Wednesday, August 26, 2026. Scripture, Ezekiel 46, 16-24. Key verse, 20. He said to me, "This is the place where the priests will cook the guilt offerings and sin offerings and bake the grain offerings. They must not take these offerings out into the outer court and make the people holy." Meditation. Today's passage first teaches about inheritance and the principle of Jubilee. Even the prince is not allowed to take away the inheritance or property of the people. Then God shows Ezekiel the places where food for the offerings is to be prepared. Near the north gate of the inner court, there is a place where the priests prepare the offerings. And in the corners of the outer court, there are places where those serving the temple prepare food for the people. At that time, the people of Israel were living as exiles. They had lost their land. They had almost nothing. The temple had been destroyed, and the glory of God had left it. Yet God was showing them a completely different future, and He was showing it in amazing detail. To the Israelites, all of this may have sounded too good to be true. But only a few decades later, Cyrus, king of Persia, issued a decree allowing the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem. What had seemed impossible began to become reality. Sometimes I feel the same way when I hear about new visions and projects ahead of me. I wonder, can this really happen? Sometimes it simply feels too good to be true. When I first started with a 13-pyeong clinic in Korea, specializing in facial contouring surgery, I could never have imagined what would happen over the next 28 years. If God had shown me, at that time, a vision of JK growing into a global plastic surgery group serving patients from around the world, I probably would have thought the same thing. Back then, my goal was simply to reach monthly sales of 50 million won. Today, I pray that the new project on Dosandero and the amazing grace God has poured upon JK, the business He has entrusted to me, may be used for His purposes. I pray that these blessings may become resources for a foundation serving God's work. I also pray that they may become a lasting legacy for future generations, and that the income they produce will continue to be used for God's work. What looks impossible to me today may already be part of a plan that God is preparing. I want to remain faithful to what God has placed before me today and trust Him with what I cannot yet see.